Okay, so the end of day 2 of the fifth test of the Oval. It's time to ask George then.
Ask George then. Changing it.
Tom Burridge asks, have England forgotten how to bowl at the tail?
I don't think so. I thought England's bowling was excellent today. I thought that, but people do get tired. And balls get softer and maybe people just get tired and batters are allowed to play well. But I thought England were really under pressure at one stage basically at lunch. Only really 4 bowlers, and I thought Australia put in a lot of miles into their legs. And every time in this series you think it's going one way, it goes the other way. So, no, I don't think they bowled too badly. The ball had stopped doing a whole lot. They went with the short ball ploy and it didn't particularly work. Murphy played well, didn't they?
Lord Nzoni asks, does Bairstow have some compromising photos of the England leadership team?
Isn't it an innings since he scored 99? If you mean
not out.
If you mean whether he should have been keeping, I don't think he should have been keeping. But you can understand why he is, can't you? Because they're trying to squeeze these players into the side. But I don't think it's an experiment that's worked. I don't think it's fair on him. And I don't think he's recovered anything like the agility that he had before.
Sushan asks, shouldn't Nissan Menon have considered the entertainment factor of Smith's run out by the subfielder while punter was on commentary? I assume he knew.
It did feel, in the moment, massively like 2005. It felt like a Gary Pratt moment with George Elam running like a leopard, picking up throwing brilliantly. If it's all about entertainment, that would have been a sort of poetic, fun thing to do. We thought he was the new Gary Pratt. It turns out he's the new Don Topley.
But if it's all about entertainment, why stop at just allowing marginal runouts?
I don't have any issue with the decision, by the way. I think it was probably right. And I think it's irrelevant that Johnny Bairstow got a bit of glove on the bail. I think that's a red herring. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think we get a bit distracted about it because I'm not sure it was dislodged, but I mean, we might well talk ourselves into
circles. Yes.
Indeed.
But I think they found that they got to the right decision eventually.
Josh Caswell asks, were the bails Marnus's biggest weakness all along?
Yeah, it's a weird one, that. So Stuart Broad was asked about that in the post-day press conference, and he said apparently it's an Australian thing that happens sometimes to change luck. You just change the bails. Anyway, I don't think that's what.
And Steve Smith didn't agree with that.
Well, he said he hadn't heard of it.
He
said he hadn't heard of it. No, he was there in the presser. But I don't think that's what upset Labuschagne. I think Labuschagne was more upset by playing on in light that wasn't awesome, although it was fine.
It was fine enough for Joe Root to take that absolute screamer.
Stuart Broad said it was worse than the light that they went off on in Manchester, though.
Ron Martin says, has there been anyone better at getting underneath the Aussie skins than Stuart Broad?
Oh, not many. I mean, Jardine, they didn't like him very much, did they? Maybe even Brearley. No, Stuart Broad's right up there, isn't he? He really irritates them. But I think there's a lot of fun in what he does, isn't there? I mean, even the void stuff. It really wasn't. What he said was, in his mind, the series is void. So that's just him finding a way to deal with what happened. He's not actually saying that the record book should be changed. But there will be some of you screaming at your screens, even as I say it, and hurling abuse in the comments, no doubt. So, he gets under people's skin, and he kind of means to.
And he warned off Khawaja. Khawaja warned him off his bails, didn't he?
He did, yeah, but I think it's all quite good-natured. Stuart Broad gives amazing media. And it's amazing how, this summer, for example, he's talked about this new delivery he has, like it's this great invention. It's an outswinger. I mean, it's not that new. A few years ago, he was talking about, he'd looked at the analysis and he's got this new approach. It was basically bowling at the stumps. But he talks in such a way that it sounds visionary.
Makes our job a lot easier.
Yeah, he's good copy.
Rumble Pants asks, have Australia made a calculated decision to leave and block Anderson score off the other bowlers, and is that a big factor in his unusual lack of wickets?
No, I don't think so. I think that he bowls, for all his wonderful strengths, he does bowl slightly back of a full length because he hates being driven, he hates giving away runs. So he's been very economical for over recent years, and he encourages batters you're probably going to have to take risks against him, aren't you, to score? And they don't want to. I don't think it's that they're just playing him out. And I don't think he's been bowling as poorly as the stats show either. Anyway, I thought that, I'll say again, England had 4 bowlers, the oldest attack they've ever had. And they were Australia were trying to grind them into the dust today, and they came through it really, really well.
Simon Stokes asks, why are Australia playing for a draw on day 2? Presumably, they're
clearly not, are they? But but the clash of styles is incredible. And we're hearing a lot about this is how Australia plays. Not really. They've always played, generally anyway, really positive cricket. They've generally set the bar for how other teams have played, at least in the last 30 years, really. And I wonder if it has got into their heads a bit, and there was an element of, we're going to show you how to really play. We're going to play the opposite of you, and we're going to beat you. And it almost worked. It still might. I mean, they're 2-1 up in the series. They're 12 ahead on first innings. This game could go anywhere. But it's really, I find the difference in styles really intriguing. So it was a slow scoring day, but I still thought it was a really entertaining day.
Do you think, if anything, they might have gone a little bit more cautious?
It's quite unusual that they score, 2.5 throughout the day? What were England, 5.2, I think? It's quite unusual, isn't it? It's quite a fast-scoring ground, but England, let's give them some praise. They were immaculate with the ball. These 4 seamers who bowled spell after spell, with the game and the series, I guess, on the line, and they really came through. They deserve a lot of praise. So they're, as ever, as responsible for the slow over rate as the batters are.
Background noise.
Over rate, run rate, obviously. Sorry.
Background noise. Do you think Carey's decline in form since Bairstow's stumping is a coincidence, or has the attention affected him?
I mean, Shubby, our colleague, is writing about this today, and I think you look at the stats, and you could argue that maybe it has affected him. I actually don't think it has. I'm not sure that he's as good as some people have been in that position in the past. But yeah, it's an interesting discussion point. It doesn't seem to me that he's particularly bothered by it. But maybe when you're booed every time you go anywhere, every time he touches the ball, maybe it has got to him a little bit. I do think that the Bazball conversation has irritated Australia. Whether it has rattled them and worsened their performance, I don't know. I suspect it has, but it's definitely annoyed them. They're really tired of hearing that England have reinvented the game when, they've scored at 4 and over many years ago, and they have just won the World Test Championship. I just think they're a bit bored of hearing that England are the much-loved entertainers and they're the pragmatic villains.
And finally, Stephen Kisson asks, so the final test of a nip and tuck Ashes comes down to a last innings shootout. Yeah. Is this poetic?
Oh, it's really entertaining. It's been a wonderful series and just keeps giving. It's brilliant, isn't it? Aren't we lucky?
And we'll be back for more at the end of day 3.
Easy for you to say. 2 takes.